Good afternoon, all of you, and really happy to be with you to talk about how we can empower developers with machine learning and augmented intelligence. What I will do first is to present what the key challenges are in that world related to augmented intelligence and machine learning, and maybe define first what we mean by augmented intelligence, because some of you may not know it. I know that you heard a lot about machine learning already, so we'll not spend too much time on that. And then I will show you very briefly what HPE has as solutions to cover those augmented intelligence and machine learning, and then complete it with a few concrete use cases, customer cases that shows exactly what they did with those portfolio and what was the value they get out of it, okay? Now, my intention again is not to define machine learning. You heard a lot about it already. You know what machine learning is, so, right? But my focus is mainly on augmented intelligence. What we mean by augmented intelligence is just the use of artificial intelligence solutions, machine learning technologies, right? To help users, to help companies enhance and automate the process of of processing human information and human data, right? How can you use artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies to automate and improve the processing of human data mainly, and get out of that data some value to help you make the right decision whenever you are? That's basically what we call augmented intelligence here. And of course, at the heart of those augmented intelligence technologies offerings, we have machine learning. And this is what I will be showing you here again. Well, we know that people are more and more getting connected, and applications and things are generating more and more data. We all know the big data paradigm and how we are getting today in the huge and massive amount of data we are getting today, and for which we need to get insight. So the key points that I would like to raise here is that the data landscape has changed drastically recently. If you look at that data landscape, we have, of course, our traditional business data, data produced by our CRM system, by our standard application taking care of HR and so on. These are what we call traditional business data. And then on top of that, you have a new set of data streams that are more and more becoming important. It is human data, it's machine data as well. For example, machine coming from sensors, CDRs from telco companies, all these machine data, but also human data, unstructured data coming from social medias, coming from videos, from texts, audios, and which are becoming more and more important in the last today. And there are some studies that are saying that if you look at that data landscape, about 90% of those data produced in the last 2 years are human and machine data compared to the business data. And secondly, the business, the machine data and the human data is the fastest growing ones, 10 times faster than business data. What we mean here is that if today you want to get real insight and real value of that data, and you analyze the landscape of that data, the focus should be to that human data and to that machine data. This is really where the challenges are, and where really the insight may be hidden today, to get additional insight that you could not get from business data, okay? Now, we are here to provide innovations to help our customers get value out of that data. And this means that our innovation are making some transformation in the way you were working traditionally in your data analytics. From traditional data analytics to today, modern data analytics that we call innovative, open innovative data analytics, there are a few elements that are key here to keep in mind. The first one is the fact that we would like to get insight in real time, or at least close to real time, right? This is one of the key elements that more and more business would like to get. Secondly, we would like to use some machine learning through data science capabilities some machine learning technology into your platform to uncover very advanced insights that you could not get traditionally. So this means that the way you will be doing that is to embed those machine learning capabilities into your business application. We are not having an application here with some machine learning solution side by side to get the insight you need, but we are embedding the machine learning capabilities into the applications. This is a new trend that exists more and more into the modern analytics data platform. And we are providing that as well. The third element is that you would like to analyze and apply perishable data anywhere at any time. Wherever the data is sitting, whatever the format of that data is, you would like to analyze it without moving that data. And this is some of the key elements we are providing as well as capabilities in our platform. And last but not least, there are a lot of open source technologies that are coming. We are talking about R, about Hadoop, etc. All of that are today part of the complete end-to-end platform, and those solutions we are bringing should be able to adapt and connect seamlessly with those platforms today. And all that are what we are providing in our, let's say, modern data analytics platform. And we'll see that later on when we will address the platform components. But the question is, how can you bridge the gap between your data and the outcome you would like to get out of that data, right? And subsequent questions related to that are, how do you consume any data? I say any data generated. How can you understand that data easily? And second question, how do you identify key aspects and patterns that exist on the data? And the third one is, how do you automate all that? You don't forget that we would like to automate all that process. So this means that whatever the solution you have, it should be able to address those three questions. And how can we address those solutions? Those three questions is what I will show you later on. The augmented intelligence platform we have has three main capabilities here. First of all, it connects to various kinds of data, any kind of data, being unstructured data, being text data, video data, and of course, traditional business data relational format, stored in relational database. So you have to be able to connect to those platforms without obviously moving all that data from one side to the other. That's the first thing. The second, you have to be able to process and analyze that data in very acceptable and very incredible performance. To get real-time insight, you need this kind of capabilities, and this is some of the things we are providing as well. And third, you need to be able to build some application by yourselves, right? That's why we are providing just a platform layer where data scientists, where developers can empower themselves using that platform to develop by themselves their own application, enrich existing applications as well with additional features and capabilities, okay? And again, it's key to really understand that together with all those different components I will show you later on, we will have an end-to-end platform that will be able to cover all kinds of use cases and business needs you may have within your company, okay? So what is in that augmented intelligence platform? There are three main components. The first one is our in-database machine learning analytics database that is called Vertica. I don't know if you are familiar with it. Vertica is a columnar storage database. I will get back to that later on, where you have the integration of the open source R that brings some additional predictive capabilities and machine learning capabilities all together in the same platform without having the need to install the open source R itself on top of that. This means that if you have already some R packages that you've developed, and you would like to leverage those in our in-database platform, you can do that. You just have to copy them, run that, and they are supported, fully supported there. That's the storage layer. Then you have idle system. The idle system is what helps you really work with your unstructured data for additional insight you would like to get, being text data, being video data, being stream of video, stream of audio data as well. So, and we'll get later on we'll see later on the different features and capabilities of IDOL. The third component is what we call Heaven on Demand. You can go to the website www.heavenondemand.com, and you will see that Heaven on Demand is a set of APIs, more than 70 APIs, and combinations of APIs all together that helps you developers to develop your own applications that involves embedding some machine learning capabilities. So we develop all those APIs for you to make life easier and accelerate your application development. So these are the three components that I will show you later on in more details. But before talking to IDOL itself, let's see why it is so difficult to talk about human information. And the reason is quite simple. Human information is what is more complex to analyze. First of all, because of its structure by default. It's unstructured. It comes from various kinds of formats, being social media, being video, being text, audio, emails as well, being text, and other kind of documents. All that can be analyzed perfectly by our IDOL system. And what makes it in particular more complex is that you need the concept of context. All previous presenters talk about the context that is needed when you want to analyze unstructured data. Again here, IDOL use some context information to empower all the developers and bring real value out of the different kind of scenario you would like to get here. Okay? There are more than 500 functions in IDOL itself, and I cannot, of course, talk about all of that, but that can be split in 5 main areas. The first one is making your search, searching data, searching document, searching text, searching in videos, and we will see some interesting use cases later on, right? The second group of functions are related to investigation and analytical capabilities in IDOL. Here you can make a lot of classical machine learning analytics that helps you make, for example, some pattern recognition on top of your data. Also make some metadata extraction on top of your data. You can also make what we call faceted navigation and a lot of additional analytics that you will see through the few use cases I will show you later on. Then you can interact with your data by personalizing it. You have a first set of data that is coming from your unstructured text data, and then you would like to enrich it with additional capabilities and additional information that you will store to get more insight on it, to get some recommendation, for example, right? All that are easily feasible in the IDOL system. Then you would like to enhance as well your data by making some clustering, using some 3D or 2D analytics on top of your data, taking some auto-classification of data to identify, for example, what are the segment of data that belong to a certain category, and from that category derive some additional insights that may help you in your overall analytics. All that is embedded and easily available into IDOL system, which is an on-premise system, but can access to any kind of data, being in the cloud or on-premise, and merge those data to make all kind of analysis without moving the data from one source to the other. Okay? In terms of pure machine learning capabilities in IDOL, you can see here a few of them that exist coming from neural network, SLAM, of course, pattern neural network, again, if you want to make analytics on top of images and audio. So depending on the type and format of your data, there are some machine learning algorithms that exist that can be used to address those kind of needs, going from clustering, categorization, induction, sentiment analytics as well. All that are available and fully, easily usable from IDOL system. There are also the Bayesian one, deep nets, all these embedded into IDOL. The second set of capabilities that we can show very easily here is the natural language processing capabilities. You've seen from previous presentations, the natural language processing capabilities, all the text you are providing. How can you take out of those text some insight using some machine learning capabilities? How can you optimize by using some probabilistic modeling capabilities from IDOL, all these text data that is stored into your different website or your different social media. This is also provided into IDLE, adding some, let's say, context information that can empower you as a developer, okay? Now, in terms of storage, let's talk about the Vertica engine itself, where it provides really some standard SQL capabilities in a format that is columnar storage, right? It's a standard column storage database that is massively parallel and bring incredible performance compared to other database systems. Sometimes you have some POC where we overperform more than 50 to 100 times faster in the way it is stored just because of the columnar storage mechanism that exists in Vertica. It is massively parallel. You can build some cluster of Vertica where all the different queries you can run can be running on top of the different nodes of your cluster that help accelerate again the platform and the database engine behind Vertica. Okay? That is also what we call auto database design. I will not go into all the features of Vertica because we don't have time for that. But auto design means just you have your database, and for DBA, for example, you would like to know how you will split the physical database on the disk. And you get from Vertica some recommendation depending on the usage, of course, but depending on also the data format, it can make you some recommendation that can help automate the process of designing physically the database, on which disk you will put the data, and which log, which kind of split should you have exactly on your database. DBA knows that very well. And a lot of additional features like, of course, in database predictive capabilities that exist that I will show you later on. Machine learning exists also natively. I told you already about the integration into Vertica, but also the Hadoop platform integration. This means that if you would like to accelerate your Hadoop clusters with a platform that can help you really get more insight more quickly than you could do it directly on Hadoop, you can use Vertica for that because we created connections and a native support of Hadoop clusters within Vertica. Okay, so you can install your Hadoop cluster on top of you can install your Vertica cluster on top of your Hadoop clusters so that it can accelerate the data access for what will be stored into Vertica. Your queries will be run on all the nodes you have into Vertica in parallel, okay, and which can help you accelerate the processing of your data from it. In terms of machine learning, we have what we call the native algorithm embedded into Vertica. For example, linear regression, k-mean clustering, logistic regression. But if you want to enhance those additional algorithms, you can do whatever you want with the open source R that is well known in the predictive analytics community. You have the model management capabilities. For example, if you've developed a few set of predictive models, and those models you would like to know automatically which ones are still accurate, or up to which level you will have to rerun the models. This is done automatically by the model management capabilities by providing you some alerts and capabilities that say, hey guys, these models may not be accurate anymore because the data itself has changed, and you need to rerun them to re-execute those models so that you can get more adaptable models that in line with what you have into your database. The data preparation phase, also well known in the predictive analytics and machine learning world, is also available here. You can make some data normalization, right? You don't need here to make what we usually do in sampling, meaning taking part of the data and execute your predictive analytics and machine learning data into it. You can do it directly into your Vertica database in all the list, all the size of your database, and in incredible performance again. Okay? The last part and component is Haven OnDemand. As I said, Haven OnDemand is bringing a set of APIs that helps the developers get empowered, really, to make their life easier if they want to develop their own applications. And those APIs include, of course, some machine learning APIs for image analytics and all kind of unstructured data analytics you would like to achieve, right? We will see here a few example of use case of customer cases later on. One of the latest features and very important we have is what we call combinations in Haven OnDemand. What it means here is that you can take any of those APIs through a combination, but bring them together to build your own new APIs. Or we build for you some combinations of different APIs so that you can get one API that embed many others to address a particular use cases. And this is really something extremely important that most of our developers really appreciated and were asking for it, and it's available now in the latest version of Haven OnDemand. So basically, what it means here is that when using Haven OnDemand, it accelerates by more than 75% your development time. So great value that helps you really as developers for when in your development cycle to get your application ready and up. Now, let's see a few concrete examples now. Here we have an example of you have a video, stream of video coming in, and we do here many kind of things, all right? You have text recognition, someone is speaking and you would like to translate what it is doing or get exactly what it is saying in the format of text. This is easily done by either using Haven OnDemand or IDLE itself, who can then get the texting format or translation of what you have in the video itself. And this is supported with more than 55 languages today that are supported, fully supported, including Germany, of course. And if there are any kind of language that needs to be supported, we can very quickly adapt and work with it with the customer who needs it to translate and make available this new language pack. Today we have more than 55 language pack, and most European main languages are supported here. Okay? The other use cases here is when you would like, for example, to recognize some images, like for example some photos, registered image somewhere, and you would like to know if it's exactly the same image that corresponds to what you have, the model you have, the example you have. Try to imagine which kind of use case can be behind that. Fighting against crimes. When you have some people that you are looking for example, you have their photos somewhere, and would like to identify if these people are, for example, in an airport, right? You would like to check if those guys are, for example, some terrorists, and you have their image stored somewhere. With the stream of data captured from your camera, you can automatically get some alerts on that. And this is something extremely valuable that many police departments are using IDLE for, and we will show that later on. But also logo recognition. You have some logos you would like to see in an image or in a video where if that logo is present there. This is some of the use cases you've seen as well. Another use case that was implemented by Philips in Netherlands is the predictive maintenance scenario. We all know IoT, we heard about that already here. And the idea for the problem, the challenge Philips had here is they had some unplanned downtimes in the different machineries they are building there, in particular in the MRI systems. Like you are doing some scanners, it's some very big machines that are extremely expensive, and they wanted to reduce the downtimes of those machines. And what they are doing is they use our Vertica platform, use the predictive and machine learning components of those Vertica, in addition to open source R, and develop some IoT scenarios where they can identify automatically in advance what can make those machines break down, so that they can make some proactive maintenance in advance before it breaks down. Okay? And this is something extremely useful today, and they already deploy that. The other use cases implemented with Philips as well is using here Haven OnDemand search capabilities, and it is becoming today the standard search engine, but also some unstructured data analytics platform for Philips, over more than 50 million documents that they have indexes using our IDLE solutions and Haven OnDemand on top of that. They also have more than 70 APIs used here from Haven OnDemand to analyze those documents that are indexes into IDLE. Okay? Very use case here, interesting use cases that show how big data platform can be perfectly addressed with our augmented intelligence platforms. The other use case here is, of course, face detection, face recognition, and I also spoke about a few use cases on that. The New Zealand transport company called Auckland Transport also use IDLE here to help them really improve the video feeds and stream of video they are getting from the transport. And then they use that really to make some recommendation in congestion, right? How can you redirect some of the traffic, right? Based on the traffic situation. You get the stream of data there, you get some alert on it, and then it helps you redirect the traffic in one direction or the other ones, okay? It helps also coordinate in a faster way whenever there are some accident, for example, because they have the stream of video image that they are getting in real time, and it helps them really understand where they should react immediately to address those different incidents. Another use case, Dubai Police, who was using IDLE here for plate recognition, right? They put a lot of camera around the traffic, right? And then they capture a lot of stream of videos from those traffics, and then they capture the plate of the different cars that are coming, and based on what they have in their search database, they can compare those car plates with stolen cars, for example, and react in real time whenever they get an alert saying, hey, this car is coming here. It was recognized as one of the stolen cars a few months ago. Okay? This is used concretely by Dubai Police Department. Speaker identification also, right? Someone is speaking and you would like to know who is it. And the other elements and use case for this speak identification is whenever, for example, you are in the parking, and you record some audio, like some car glass breaking there. When you record that, you can get some alerts saying, we hear exactly the same kind of sounds, which say that there is someone certainly who is breaking down the glasses of a car. And then you can react, instead of having here someone sitting, looking at the different images, if there is something that is happening in the parking, for example. Okay? This is one of the use cases that we've seen there. And here, the Spanish Ministry of Interior here used IDLE in some very fighting crime scenario, where they were using IDLE to capture a lot of videos and store them in IDLE, and then analyze, get real-time insight from that. What they have petabytes of videos, images, and text from which they were using to identify who could be the potential terrorists, right? Since they have the images and photos of those guys, they analyze, for example, in airport, which have the different people coming from in the airport, compare the image they are capturing with what they have in the, let's say, crime database, and be able to get some real-time insight or real-time alerts whenever there is someone that is researched, for example. And this is some implementation by the Spanish Ministry of Interior. So what you can see here is that we have really a lot of use cases, concrete, that show that this augmented intelligence platform you have is proven, really. It's proven by big customers in some very compelling use cases, really, where they really use the solutions to demonstrate some of those capabilities, okay? The example is that I will not have time to show because of time constraint is the virtual assistant. It's a solution you have in IDLE that can help you identify from your text data some clusters, right, to build some language independent pattern recognition capabilities and guide you when you are connected to your website, guide you to interact with one of your customers. For example, let's look here what is happening in that virtual assistant, right? Someone is connected and say, okay, I would like to enter into an interest rate swap here, right? You send it, and the system analyzes what it has written down and says, okay, I understood. He tried to ask to the person who is connected what exactly he wants to get. He'd ask him some additional information, and there is an interaction that happens automatically. There is no one behind. It is done automatically based on what the user is entering, and based on also some data that is already stored somewhere into IDLE. And here it can guide you, make you some recommendation, address some of your questions you have from the website. So it's a kind of virtual assistant that we've built here for a major bank here in Germany. Okay? So I have just 1 minute left to conclude here. My key message here is that we have a platform with its free components that can address all kinds of use cases, machine learning use cases you have in a scenario related to augmented intelligence. All kinds of analytics you would like to do on top of your unstructured data, or even structured data, of course, can be very easily addressed here with some incredible performance. It is some proven technology we have that shows our differentiator with our competition today, and we really invite you to have a look to eventually go for a POC to demonstrate some of those capabilities, being in whatever the area or use case you have on site. So for me, that's it. Again, we have time constraints.